Biggest thing that always troubled me was my imagination. I grew up poor, but I was always imagining stuff. My mama, once a month, would buy a travel magazine that my father used to be so pissed off. She said, Slick, we ain't got no money to take this boy nowhere. But if he can look in these magazines, maybe one day it'll cause him to want to travel. My mama had enough sense to plant that seed in me. When they was living, they told me one time, they was sitting up watching TV. My daddy looked at my mama and said, can you believe that this little boy we had on TV? I used to send my daddy $5,000 a week. When I got into Kings of Comedy, my father was still living. I showed my daddy one time how much money I made. He said, boy, it take me 4 years to make this kind of money. I always wanted God to just lift me up so before my mom and them left this world, I could give them something. I bought them everything, man, houses, cars, tried. I'm 62 years old. I'm still hoping that they in heaven watching me and they see me turn into something. It was in my imagination to take care of them. Everything that's in your imagination, God gonna make it come true for you. God make dreams come true. He take poor kids and put them all over TV. If God can do that for me, explain to me how he can't do it for you. Don't ever give up and keep believing, because God is real. Don't you listen to nobody telling you God ain't real. God is more real than anybody I know. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be here today. All faith is, really, the substance of it is just what you hope for. It's just real hard hoping. You remember when you was little and you said, I hope I get a bike for Christmas? And you went out there one year and the bike was under the tree? At one point in time, the older you get, this got to start clicking in. That if you hope hard enough, one day you ought to get smart and turn all that hoping into belief. Face it, belief in things that you cannot see. When you ain't see no way you was going to get that bike, he got you one, didn't he? That's because God was turning your hopes into faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for.
They asked Muhammad Ali, how did you know you could dominate boxing? He said, I got here when I was running 5 o'clock in the morning. I visualized myself speaking, celebrating my wins, and I got here long before I danced under the lights. And I held that vision, and I took action.
Remember I told you that imagination is everything? Now let me tell you the problem with your imagination. You tell it to the wrong people. See, you gotta be careful when you share your imagination with small-minded people.
We all have pictures that we see in our mind. God created us as visual beings. Sometimes we're not even thinking about it, and a negative imagination will come. We'll see our business going down, us losing our health. There's no truth to it. But if you let that play, you'll go through the day worried. Dwelling on these negative images will cause you to live in fear. It's all an imagination. It's just something you're seeing in your mind. It's one thing to have something to deal with that's actually happening. But too often, we're letting these wrong imaginations of what might happen, what might fall apart, to steal our joy. The good news is you control your imagination. Just because that negative image comes doesn't mean you have to tune in. The scripture tells us to cast down these wrong imaginations. When my mother was fighting terminal cancer, in the middle of the night, she would see herself being buried in a new pink dress that she had never worn. She wasn't thinking about it. She was trying to stay in faith. But these negative imaginations will come, especially when we're in difficult times. If my mother would have pulled up a chair and watched that movie night after night of her being buried in that pink dress, she would have become depressed, defeated, and might not be here today. Don't take the bait. That is not predicting your future. That is a wrong imagination that you need to cast down. Quit losing sleep over something that's just in your mind. Don't fall into that trap. Guard your mind. I talked to a man that was very concerned about his health. All through his 30s and 40s, he was so stressed and so fearful. He saw himself going downhill. When he made it to his 47th birthday, he was so happy. He made it past his father's. He was still strong and healthy. Thoughts said, don't get too happy. Those images kept coming. Him going downhill, him losing his health. But he made it past 51. He was 93 years old. Looked like he was 70. Strong, healthy, joyful. He said, Joel, if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't have lived all those years worried, afraid that my health wasn't going to last. Are you going to look back years from now and have to say, if I could do it over again, I wouldn't spend all that time discouraged over what I thought was going to happen? Some of the things the enemy is showing you, it looks very real, but it's all made up. It is not going to happen. Quit believing those lies. Instead of watching that picture of you struggling, business going down, cast down that imagination. Start seeing yourself prosperous, coming out of debt, having an abundance so you can be a blessing to others. Use your imagination for the right purposes to see what God says about you. Start seeing yourself strong, living a full, blessed life. Or maybe you've gone through a disappointment. Life hasn't turned out the way you had planned. Those images will come up. But God says He will give you beauty for those ashes. That He will take what was meant for your harm and use it for advantage. See, the enemy will show you the ashes. What he won't show you is the beauty that's coming. He'll show you that it's all downhill from here. What he won't show you is the double that's coming. Now do your part. Protect your imagination. When those images come that show you going downhill, they are not from God and they are not a reality. The mistake many people make is they only watch one channel. You need to get cable in your mind. When I'm watching something I don't like, I don't sit there and endure it. I simply change the channel. I'm smart enough to say, no thanks, I'm not watching that channel. I don't watch the things are going downhill channel. I stay on the victory channel, the more than enough channel, the overcoming channel. In your mind, quit watching things that are depressing you, causing you to live in fear, not pursue your dreams. You control what plays in your mind. There was a young lady that came down for prayer. She and her husband wanted to have a baby, and she'd gone through all the fertility treatments. She said, Joel, I've been worried since I was in my early teens that I wouldn't be able to have a baby. Other family members have struggled with infertility. I always knew this was going to happen to me. Many times, the enemy doesn't have to put negative images in our mind. We're creating them with our own thoughts. Cast down that imagination. She switched off that station of all of her relatives, disappointed. She started seeing her and her husband playing with this baby. 3 years later, she came back with a beautiful baby girl. Medically speaking, she wasn't supposed to have a child, but God has the final say. Are negative pictures keeping you from your dreams? The scripture tells us in Timothy to have a disciplined mind. Your mind will naturally gravitate toward the negative. Don't be surprised if in your imagination you start seeing the creditors coming. You see the doors closing. If you're not disciplined, you'll go around worried, stressed out. Change the channel. You can create new pictures in your mind. Be disciplined in your thought life. When you're watching negative imaginations, that's taking your strength, making you weaker. If you'll use your imagination the right way, it will help you stay hopeful and to believe that God can turn it around.
Einstein's most famous quote, one of his most famous observations. He said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world.
Imagination is everything. It's a preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you've ever imagined is real.
The imagination is always manufacturing scenarios, both good and bad, and the ego tries to keep you trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Our eyes are not viewers. They are also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time.
Fantasy is not nothing. It is, of course, not a tangible object, but it is a fact nevertheless.
I can't shake the dream, but I don't have the details for the dream. I don't quite know how to make the dream happen, and it's quite lonely on the journey to get to the dream. So the cost of the dream seems really high, but the dream won't go away. I'm shaking again about the dream.
You need somebody that can rally people around an idea, that's pushing themselves and other people to get better, that has just an unyielding sense of what the art form can become.
And you place into your imagination fearlessly the I ams which you would like to create for yourself.
The world in which we live is a world of imagination. In fact, life itself is an activity of imagining.
Everything that's in your imagination, God gonna make it come true for you. You just got to believe that. God make dreams come true. He take poor kids with speech impediments and put them all over TV. He take drug dealers and turn them into doctors. If God can do that for me, explain to me how he can't do it for you.
Imagining creates reality.
Well, I guess you could call it daydreaming. That's the way Disneyland was conceived. A dream that grew into a reality.
What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. What you will realize is that you're greater than your circumstances.
No money, no human resources, no building, no funding, no support. We dreamed, we wrote the dream down, we slept the dream, we ate the dream, we rehearsed the dream, we looked at the dream, we talked about the dream, we slept with the dream, we woke up to the dream, we wore the dream, and now boom, it's our reality. And for some of you, you stop dreaming. You dream for a week and you stop because things around you don't look good. How dare you to use your imagination? You dream for a while, and when people tell you crazy, you stop dreaming and you go back to knowledge. And I dare you to use your imagination. I dare you when you're broke to use your imagination. I dare you when you're rich to use your imagination. I dare you under every single circumstance. Keep dreaming. Keep looking at your dream. Keep focusing on your dream. Keep going after the dream because that's where true success is.
And ask yourself, what's my dream? What's my dream?
Logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere.
Take control of the morning so you take control of your day. Own the morning so you can own your day. Start your day right so the rest of your day falls into place. Schedule that time. It's more important than anything. Sleep 30 minutes less if you need to. Give this to yourself.
Are you happy with your life? Are you where you want to be? If you answered yes, turn the audio off. Now, if you answered no and you want to grow, keep listening.
Start every day with at least 5 minutes of powerful energy. 5 minutes of positive energy first thing in the morning can change your entire day. And if you can change your entire day with consistent, positive thoughts, you can change your entire life.
Can you do more? Can you be more? If you know you can be more, you need to commit to being more, and you need to start now. You need to commit now to start every day with the mindset of someone who loves life. The mindset of someone who is going to win the day no matter what happens. You won't lose. You will win, or you will learn. You will win the day because you will set your day up to win.
Your first job as soon as you rise is to give thanks. Give thanks you are alive. Give thanks for everything you do have. Give thanks for everything you usually take for granted. Set your intentions for the day. Set your goals for the day.
Give thanks in advance for the things you want. Put that intention out into the world. Thank you for this day. Thank you for the amazing opportunities coming my way. Thank you for the character I show today. Thank you for every smile today. Thank you for every laugh, every moment of fun.
Wake up with intention by setting those intentions the night before. Wake up with only positive intentions. The morning is not the time for phones, not the time for work or problem solving. The morning is the time to get in sync with what you want. Create an unbreakable morning routine, a consistent routine that will soon bring consistent results.
Ask yourself, how do I want this day to go? How do I want to feel today? How do I want to treat others? How you start your day is usually how you're going to live your day. If you start it believing it's going to be a great day, chances are it will be. If you start your day with the intention you are going to be happy today, no matter what happens, chances are you will be happy, no matter what happens.
If you don't start your day off in the right mindset, at the first challenge or test, you will break. You will respond with negativity rather than positivity. And what are the chances of challenges showing up? Probably around 100%. So make sure you are ready for those challenges. Ready with an unbreakable spirit. Ready with a positive mindset. Ready to redirect any negativity.
Get after the life you want. It is a must. Don't let it get away from you. Run after it.
Plan your day. If you know where you're going, you will eventually get where you need to go. If you have no direction, you will end up in the wrong section. Successful people have intention and they have direction. They know where they're going. That is why
Hello guys, today our script is imagination is everything. Imagination is the spark of that ignited creativity, the key that unlocks the door to endless possibilities. It's the force that drives inventions. They was sparing from which art, science and progress flow. In the classroom, it's the teacher using students to think beyond the obvious or to dream big and explore new ideas. In the workshop, it's me. It's the inventor inventing a world where problems are solved and lives are improved by bold inventions. In the studio, it's the art of transforming a bank of convention into a masterpiece, expressing emotions and ideas that transcend the world. In the laboratory, the scientists passing the abundance of knowledge, driven by constantly a force of the power of imagination. In the winter room, it's storyville waving tapes that transport us to distant lands, speaking empty for an understanding. Imagination knows no boundaries to the transport is. Currently, and background is the common thread for content as all. So let your imagination soar, dare to dream the possible, because it's realm of possibilities.